Hello, everyone. This is the last business activity of the term, week 10, business activity exploring the law. So use the information from chapter 17 of your textbook to explore the structure and function of laws and regulation as they relate to business. Part 1, functions of law. Review each function of law in the table below and provide an example of the type or category of laws that serve that function. The first two have already been provided to get you started. So keeping the peace basically means designate some activities as crimes which are subject to punishment. There's many examples we can select from, things like assault, battery, defamation, invasion of privacy, and so forth. The textbook gives a really good set of examples, or you can also look them up online. Shaping moral standards are laws discouraging such activities as drug distribution. That's an example. Already given you there. I'll do one more, promoting social justice, and I'll leave the rest for you all to continue doing your research and identify examples. So promoting social justice, like, let's see, it really is basically laws prohibiting discrimination. Laws governing social order are just and equitable, and there's things like the Civil Rights Act of 1964, which promote equal pay and opportunities. That's an example. Again, there's a few others that you're going to have to do research on and refer back to your textbook for the definition and for certain examples. And then part two is contracts. So use what you learn in chapter 17 to answer the following questions. What is a contract? The chapter actually has a really in-depth explanation of what a contract is. There are a few different things in order for a contract to be enforceable. It has four requirements. I'm going to name them, but you're going to have to explain them. So the concept of agreement, consideration, contractual capacity, and lawful object. Go into depth for each of these specific four requirements, and then maybe give some examples of a contract. Maybe share some experiences in which you signed a contract, or what does the contract look like between employer and employee? Kind of share a little bit more about that. And again, what are the elements of an enforceable contract? That's where you can probably explain the four requirements. So maybe instead of explaining them here, explain them more here. I think that's probably more fitting. Also, maybe include for your own research, because this is important. If you're ever going to be in the world of business, you're going to have to understand contracts. Understand what's the penalty for breaking a contract. Give some examples there. And then lastly, part three is public and private law. Um, Use what you learn in chapter 17 to answer the following questions. So, what is private law? Pretty simple to find a definition there. Um, Name two types of laws that fall under the domain of private law. Textbook gives you many different examples: family law, contract law, tort law. And then what is public law? So now that you define private law, go into depth with what is public law. Give some examples, um, whether it's constitutional law, administrative law. Please explain these examples. And then lastly, what are the three general categories that public law falls into? There's three. Um, I'll go ahead and preview them, but do your research and explain kind of how are they different. So the constitution law, administrative law, and criminal law. So since I've given you all some help in terms of where to look at within the chapters, it's on you all to really provide supporting statements, evidence, research to kind of get the um, full score for these assignments. With that, that wraps up all the business activity help. If you have any further questions, let me know, or feel free to ask one of your classmates for help. Thank you all.